Hi there, my name is Moses and you are welcome to Stable Rock Farms. On today's episode, we are going to look at cheap, innovative and effective machines that you can use on your crop farm. I am emphasizing on cheap because there are a number of machines that can be used on your crop farm, right? But the aim of this video is the ones that are the most affordable. So we have some other machines that can be talked about, but for the purpose of this video, we're only settling for these ones that you don't have to break the bank too much to be able to acquire. So what are we trying to achieve with this video? The aim is to hopefully help the viewers find 1 or 2 or 3 or even 5 machines that they deem necessary for them to have on their crop farm, so that it can help them going forward in their farming journey. So let's begin. So is it clear enough? Okay, so to begin with, we can take a look at this. This is a planter. As you can see, we have several of them. And what this does is that it helps plant your crop for you. So this is a multi-crop planter. When I say multi-crop planter, what do I mean by that? It plants different types of crops. Maize, cowpea, groundnuts, whatever the case may be, whatever it is you want to plant, this planter does it for you. And now you can see that it has a double compartment, right? So one here is written here seed box, and then on the other side is written fertilizer box. So what you do is you open this. Hey, bye-bye. How are you? What you do is that you open this seed box, you pour in your seeds, you open this fertilizer box, you pour in your fertilizer. That's if the crop you are going to plant is going to be planted and fertilized on the same day, right? So now, why is this useful? This is useful because based on the crop you are going to plant, it automatically takes care of the spacing for you, right? So the spacing is automatically guaranteed by the machine. So as a farmer, how is this useful? This saves time, right? It saves time because number one, you can move at a much faster pace, right? What do I mean by that? All you need to do is just push like this and it keeps planting your seeds. Now it gets the perfect spacing, and with the perfect spacing you get to ensure that your crops grow well the way they are supposed to. Now, it has some attachments, and yeah, you can come here. You can see there are different types of, you can see this whole sack here has a lot of attachments to it. So what these attachments are that they are for the various different types of seeds, right? So depending on the seed you want to plant, you open the space for, yeah, so you can see there's one type of this here already in there. So depending on the seed you are going to plant, if it's cowpea, you find the attachment that goes with cowpea, you put it in there, you close it, and you plant. That's basically it. It's extremely easy to use, and it has been very helpful to us because it saves time, money, and energy, right? And then another thing we can look at is this. This is a hand tractor, right? This is a 7.5 horsepower petrol engine hand tractor, while this is a 13 horsepower diesel engine hand tractor, right? So, well, the definition is in the name, right? It's a tractor. You know, the regular tractors that you use on your farm, With this one, the difference is that you operate it by hand, right? So if you have a garden, or if you're into some type of small scale farming, this tractor will work wonders for you. Obviously, if you're into large scale farming, it doesn't really help as much, right? Now, this comes with different attachments, right? You can see this can help create ridges for you. That works as a harrow, and you know, depending on whatever type of tractor needed operation you want to do, you put in the attachment and it goes ahead and it sorts it out for you. Now, let's look at the next machine. You can see this is an earth auger. So what does this do? It digs holes, right? So basically, if the type of farming you are into is planting of trees, you do lots of planting, this machine can help with that. Or you do lots of demarcation, this can help with that. Or you need to dig holes for poles, you know, these poles, the electric poles where you put wiring on it, this machine can do that for you. So there are many uses to it, and obviously any other use that you feel you have for the machine, it can handle it for you. So let's go outside and we'll take a look at some other machines. This doesn't qualify as a machine, but let's still just briefly talk about it. So what is this? This is simply a shower head, right? But for those of you who are gardeners, you know that this can work very, very effectively for you during the dry season, right? When you need to water your plants. What do? You get a hose, you attach it to it, and you water your plants. It's not a machine, but for the purpose of this video, we'll just briefly touch on it, right? So let's go and see some more machines that we have in another location on the farm. For a crop farmer, you know that this is very helpful for you. Not only a crop farmer, even a livestock farmer, this can be helpful for you too, right? You move your produce, you move some things, you move your livestock and things like that. You can see we have some of our dogs are just helping us with the video. This is a mix of Boabo and Canary, while these two are local breeds. For those of you who know dogs, this breed is going to be a massive dog when she's all grown. She's still just a few months old. So let's go. This is a moisture reader. So for those of you who are crop farmers, you will know that your plants, your produce needs to get to a certain moisture level before you can be comfortable enough to bag it and feel safe that your produce is not going to spoil, it's not going to rot, it's not going to have some mold in it, etc. Maize, rice, groundnuts, all of them, etc. They have their different types, their different moisture level that once you reach it, is dry enough and you're comfortable enough to bag, right? This machine can help with that. I mean, for an experienced farmer, you may not need this because you would just know. But for those who are not sure, or those who are doing this on a large scale, and you have clients that are very specific with what they want, you want to make sure that you provide your products to your clients based on their specification. So this is where this machine comes in. This is a moisture reader and it does amazingly well, right? Now, this is a water pump, right? Now, this is a 100-meter hose. So how does a water pump help? Now, if we're talking crops, then dry season farming, right? If you're doing dry season farming, especially, let's say, for example, you're a pepper farmer, right? You're a pepper farmer and you know that during the dry season, that's where you make most of your sales. That's where you make the best profit because your products are sold for a premium at that time, right? Now, if you're a pepper farmer and you have 2 hectares, you have 5 hectares, you have 10 hectares of your pepper, right? How do you water it twice a day or once a day? Do you individually, fetch water and you go and you pour it on these plants on maybe like 30,000, 50,000 and 100,000 plant population? No, that can't work, right? This is where this water pump comes in, right? You turn this on, you connect your hose to it, and you have probably created canals, right? Or drainages, or water channels, whichever word you're familiar with, or gutters, right? Whichever word it is you're familiar with that you have done on your farm that will aid you to effectively water your plants. That is where this machine comes in. For gardeners, ignore that I'm sweating. It's one of those things that we enjoy as farmers. It's a workout. So here we have a grafting tool. So for those who are gardeners, especially, you want to graft certain types of. You have a mango tree species that you need to graft to another type of mango tree. This can help with that. Or you want to harvest your peppers or your tomatoes. This can help with that. It's a multi-purpose grafting tool. You can research on it so that you will learn more. Now, you can see there are other things here. They don't qualify as machines, but still, it will be good to use to briefly mention to you. These are all ways of ensuring your farm is well watered. These are all irrigation system products. This is a water gun. You connect it to a hose, to a pipe, and then it shoots water to different points on the farm. This is a filter, So the reason you are seeing many of these things here is because we have kept them as extras, right? Either we have installed them already and some are extras, or some are yet to be installed. So that's why you see them here like this, right? So this is a filter. These are the different points. If you're going to if for example you have a pepper farm and each individual plant is going to have its own watering system, these are all the different pipes that are going to go to the individual plants, right? Now this is the hose that these pipes will be connected to. This is a timer. You can just set it that, okay, now you have 30,000 peppers, right? Each individual pepper has its own little outlet where water is going to come out from, based on this hose, by the length of this hose, right? And then this filter makes sure the water is clean and is coming out as it's supposed to. Then this is a timer. Let me just open it so that you can see. This is a timer, water timer, and frequency reader. So what this does is you can set it that I want my tomatoes to be watered for 20 minutes, right? And once you set it, it will water the plants for 20 minutes and automatically stop on its own, right? Then the frequency, you can set the frequency that every 1 hour, I want this plant to be watered for 20 minutes. So every 1 hour, it turns on its own, is watered for 20 minutes, and it stops, right? Or you can say every day, I want it watered for 20 minutes. Or every 3 days, I want it watered for 20 minutes. You understand? However it is you want it to be, it can be set by this. So you can see that as a farmer who is especially interested in dry season farming, I keep emphasizing on dry season farming because I truly believe that is where the money is, right? We are going to expand on our dry season farming. We are trying to maximize our profit, right? So these things have all either been installed or are all going to be installed. And some videos have been shot already where they have not been installed yet. they'll be short, and we'll show to you in subsequent videos. Oh, and again, I forgot to show you this. This helps channel the water to the different parts, right? So all these things you see here are all going to aid with irrigation of your crop farm, right? Since we're talking about cheap machinery, it does not have to be, you know, an operated type of machine. This can also, for the purpose of this video, serve for discussion, right? For those of you who, let me use the example with yam farmers, right? You know that this can be used for heaps, right? Or even ridges. For you who are pepper farmers and you need to create ridges for your farm, or you need to create water channels that I was talking about earlier, right? You need to create water channels or canals. This can be used for that, right? So this is this is extremely cheap, right? So you don't need to break the bank to be able to purchase something like this, right? As you know, this is the regular hoe that can be used for weeding. You can see them, they're different sizes. They can be used for either weeding, can be used for planting, and things like that. So these are, you know, items that can be purchased for almost nothing. So you don't have to feel like, as you're watching this video, there's nothing that can be affordable to you, right? You can get some seeds, get one of these, and your farming journey has begun, right? So that's that for here. And over here, we'll take a look at great. Now, this is a 4-stroke brush cutter, right? What do I mean by that? Let me bring some more attachments for it before we discuss. You can see that there are about 3 different attachments here, right? This is called a brush cutter. And what a brush cutter does is it basically aids you in your farming experience, in your farming journey, right? This is an attachment that can work as a weeder, right? It will weed the farm for you. This can work as a cutter, right? Once you turn the machine on, it can act as a saw, or it can act as a weed cutter, right? Or it can act as a harvester, right? So for example, if you want to harvest rice, you can just add this attachment to it and your rice will be harvested, right? So it has different attachments that can be added to it, and then it will form as the machine for that particular event. What I can probably do is just maybe put up on the screen the different things that can be used for this machine. You can see we have quite a few. There's some others inside the storage in there, and yeah, this is another machine that can be discussed here. So here we have our groundnut sheller. So with the groundnut sheller, what it does, as can be seen from this groundnut husk, is that it breaks open the groundnut and exposes the kernels, the seeds, right? What happens is you pour in your groundnuts here, the seeds or kernels come out from here, and then the husk, you know, the outer layer, it comes out from here. So this is one of the machines on the farm, and it can aid you in doing your work properly. Obviously, it's connected to a generator that helps turn it on and keep that motion moving. So let's go in there and see some other ones that we have. So here, what I showed you outside was the groundnut sheller, right? Here we have the maize and rice sheller, right? So what a sheller basically does is it peels the outer layer of whatever crop it is you are trying to shell, right? In the case of the previous machine, it was groundnut. It breaks open the groundnut, the outer layer, so that you can be exposed to the seeds or the kernels. In this case, it breaks open your paddy rice so that it can be exposed to the rice seeds that you eat, right? Or it peels the outer shell of your maize so that you get the inner part of the maize. If you watched our previous video where we mentioned ways in which we save money monthly, you know the uses of this machine. It works wonders for us on the farm. And you can see that this is a multi-crop thresher. So what a thresher does, it separates the leaf or the straw or the stem of your crop from the actual crop. Let's use example with this, right? You can see that this is groundnut. This was a groundnut leaf, right? So the way groundnut is once you harvest your groundnut, you have groundnuts at the bottom, right, of the leaf. So you throw it into the thresher, and it separates the groundnut seed from the groundnut leaf, right? So it comes out separated. You take your that's some examples of groundnuts right there in those bags. So you put your groundnut seeds aside, and then your leaf is a byproduct you can use for something else. You can watch my previous video where we talked about the uses of this. So this is a multi-crop. So it can work for rice, it can work for maize, it can work for soybeans, it can work for different things, right? And then here you have a maize thresher. This one is specifically meant for maize, right? Let me just open this so that we can have some more light in here. So this is for maize, right? So just like the multi-crop thresher that I mentioned, because we're heavy into maize farming, we needed one that was specific for maize alone. So what happens, this is only meant for maize. You pour in your maize with the cobs on it, right? And then it comes out threshed, right? The seeds are separated from the cobs, right? So that is what this machine is meant for. So let's move on to the next one. This is a rice planter. You can see that it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows. So what does this mean? This means that you can pour your seeds in here, your paddy rice in here, and you attach this on here with the help of a screw, a key, and then you pull. You understand? So after you have tilled your ground, after you have harrowed your ground, your place, your field is ready for rice planting. You just pour your seeds in here and then you plant. Now, what is the advantage of this? Imagine being able to plant 8 rows of rice at the same time. Now, we're not just planting on 8 rows, we're planting on the recommended spacing. You understand? So imagine how much time, imagine how much effort, imagine how much money can be saved by doing this. This can do the work of 20 people in one day. Imagine planting 8 rows at a go, right? So all you need to do is just pour your seeds in there and pull, and it's just going to plant, distribute your rice on your field, right? So obviously, with many of these machines that I've mentioned to you here, they can be purchased, but some little fabrication can be done on them to enhance them, right? Let's say, for example, this was purchased, but we did this fabrication locally by ourselves. The handle was very short. This is what was used as the handle. We didn't find it effective enough, right? So we did this little fabrication on our own, and then it can be inserted in here, and then you notice that it's long enough for you to comfortably pull, right, and plant your rice. So that's one machine. Another machine innovation we can look at here is this. This is a fertilizer application knapsack or a fertilizer application box, right? So how does this work? Let me just show you. So obviously this has some things. You can see it here. It can be added in here before you put it so that it is screwed shut. So don't worry that this is just for this for the purpose of just showing you how it works, right? So here you have the belt. You can put another belt in there. Then you put it on your back, right? Just like a backpack, right? So once this is on your back, all you need to do is just push. Once you're doing this, your fertilizer is being distributed to the base of your plants, right? Now imagine how much work this can save you. You can see we have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I think we have another 5 or so at the farm. This is just a little warehouse we have. So I have a total of 10 of these. And then for many of you who have watched my videos, you know that we are heavy on engaging the local farmers, right? So we try to get machinery that can complement local farmers working. We don't want to be heavily mechanized because that is going to reduce the need of local farmers on our farm. I am actually going to, you should probably subscribe to this video, to this channel, like this video, subscribe to this channel. Why am I saying that? It's because I'm going to drop a video later that explains why we prefer using local farmers to mechanized type of farming. I've talked about this several times, but I've never really given the reason as to why we prefer using local farmers. So that is why we have this. We have a tractor attachment called a fertilizer applicator. For those of you who have tractors, you know what a fertilizer applicator does. It basically applies fertilizer to your crops, right? That is much more effective, much more efficient, much more time saving, but there's less need, there's less use of the local farmers. That is where this comes in, right? All right, next, we're going to take a look at this scale. This is a 1000 kg digital scale. So what do I mean by that? It means this scale can be able to weigh up to 1000 kg, 1 ton of a produce or a livestock or whatever the case may be. So if you want to weigh get the weight of your goats, for example, you have a sheep. Let's say your sheep, you want to sell your sheep. You come here and the client wants to know the size, the weight of the sheep. You come, you put it up here, and this will tell you. Or you have some sesame that you want to sell, Benny seed you want to sell, and you want to know its weight, right? You put it here, and you can be able to tell. And then you will have the smaller ones. You know, these ones can be able to also tell you the weight of whatever it is. You know, this can go up to 20 kg, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So for scale, that's what we have there. Here we have, you can see these are just watering cans. For those who are gardeners, you know how important this can be to you to water your plants, right? Here we have some knapsack sprayers. Again, this is for herbicide application. This is for insecticide application. This is for fungicide application. This is for disinfecting your farm. This can be used for IMO solution application. It's multi-purpose what you can do with your knapsack sprayers. Obviously, anytime you are using it, after its use, you clean it properly so that whatever you are using it next for, it's not diluted with the previous chemical that was put in there. If you watch one of our videos, you know I talked about this machine being the single most important purchase I've made for my farm. When well, let me rephrase that. It's the single most important, affordable, cheap purchase that I've made on my farm, right? This can be used for virtually everything. Moving of crop, moving of livestock, going to the farm, sales to clients, moving stuff to the farm, to our crop farm, moving some inputs and implements. Everything can be done with this machine. It can go for less than $3,000. When we purchased it, it was even less than $2,000. It just keeps going up. So for those who have purchased this already, you know its benefits to your farm. For those who haven't purchased this, I would say it's still way too cheap compared to the amount of work it will do for you. $3,000 is very affordable. Yeah, I believe that's everything. I actually forgot to mention one more equipment that I feel should be included in this video, and that is the soil detector. So this soil detector determines the fertility, the pH level, and moisture level of your soil. So all you do is you dip this two pointy ends into your soil, and then you turn this on with this button here. You turn it on, and what happens is after a few seconds you get your reading. So how fertile is your soil? Is it not good enough? Is it ideal? Is it too fertile? What is the pH level? What's the moisture level? How wet or how dry is your soil? You know that your soil has different requirements to be able to get the optimum growth, right? The requirements for your pepper may be different from the requirements for your rice. The requirements for your rice may be different from the requirements for your maize, etc. Right? So this is where this soil detector comes in. It's very key to maximizing your work on the farm and saving you from losses, right? Because let's say, for example, the land may be fertile enough that you don't need to apply fertilizer for a while. So if you're applying fertilizer, you're just wasting your money, right? Or the land may have been so degraded that you may need to treat the soil before planting. But if you don't know and you go ahead and plant, you are incurring future losses, right? Because your plant is not going to grow and flourish the way it's supposed to. So now you're beginning to see how important this soil detector is. So yeah, that's another one that I feel should be in this video. Now for our discussion, I'll try to keep the discussion brief because the video is already long enough, but the idea is that the 20 plus either equipment or machines that I have discussed in this video are meant to save us time, save us energy, maximize our use of the machine, and basically end up making the farming experience better for us, right? You do less and make more, basically. It's as simple as that, right? Now, there are other machinery that we have that are much more expensive. So that is why we have not included them in this video. This video is meant to keep whatever machine we're purchasing at the barest minimum. It shouldn't be more than $2,000, $3,000 at most. There are some that are as cheap as $1, $2, right? So we try to make sure our cap was $2,000 plus, nothing more than $3,000. So if you want to see the videos where we have some more complex machinery that do much better jobs, you should subscribe to this channel until we drop those videos. So, you're looking at things like tractors, you're looking at things like combine harvesters, you're looking at things such as water bowsers, the water tankers, you're looking at tipping trailer, right? You're looking at our feed mills, right? You're looking at dryers. There's so many things that we can discuss. After if we had put it in this video would have been way too long, probably like 2 hours. So it's good that we're dissecting it this way. The cheaper ones are discussed, the more expensive ones are discussed. After all, the videos can probably serve different type of people, you know. Those who can afford to purchase those ones should watch those ones, or are aspiring to purchase those ones later. So yeah, that's about it. These are all machineries or equipment that machinery or equipment that we have used and we feel comfortable enough to share. There are some that are just as cheap also, but we didn't really fully enjoy the experience, so we decided not to show them in this video. So I think that's about it. At the end of the day, you want your farming experience to be a fun one, right? You don't want to, we can't continue to be doing things like we're in the olden days, we're in 1800s or in 1950, right? Especially in Africa, you still have people doing heavily manual type of farming where they barely make anything, but they have put in their optimum they're all into it, their energy into it, right? So some of this equipment and some of these machines can really aid you in doing less and gaining more. And at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do here, right? We're just trying to educate people so that they can do better on their farms. And one more thing that I would like to mention before we wrap up this video is that you're beginning to see a trend whereby we are heavily dependent on local farmers, right? I promised that I was going to drop a video on why we prefer using local farmers to mechanized farming, and I haven't done that yet. Just subscribe to the channel, and when we have the time, we'll shoot a video and we'll explain why. But if you notice, many of the equipment or machines that we mentioned in here can easily be handled by a tractor operated attachment, right? The fertilizer applicator, for example, right? There's so many of them that you could simply just attach to a tractor and it will do the work, and you're good to go. But that is not our aim. We want to involve local farmers as much as possible. So that's why you see we've gone this route. We have been farming. We've been doing our crop farm for more than, at this point, probably more than a decade, right? So we understand the system within our locality, right? We understand and we feel this is the method that works for us, and that's why I'm just trying to explain so you understand why we do it this way rather than the mechanized farming. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We don't want the video to be too long. Please, we urge you to like this video. If you like the video, it's going to be recommended to more people, and they will be able to YouTube will recommend it to more people, and that will help our channel grow, right? We are a new channel and we're trying to grow. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe so that whenever we drop new videos, you can have access to them. Again, that can help our channel grow. And I mean, if you feel this video is helpful enough to send to someone, you can share. That will also help us with our views. Obviously, if you don't want to, that's fine also. You watching the video alone, it's more than enough. Thank you very much for watching, and we hope to see you later. Bye.